po' di sole, vorrei un po' di sole per me. Hi, welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to be doing some 5 stars predictions. As always, before you watch my video, there are some links in the description that are very important and you should definitely check them out before watching this video. Shall we start with my dumbest purchase? Because I think we shall. I think we should. I think we all know Henry Cavill has done a lot of work in the acting field, but we will not talk about Superman because hell no. But I think we also have all seen the picture in which he was reading The Way of Kings by Brandon Sanderson. And so I was like, Henry Cavill, take my firstborn child. I actually was interested in this series before, but then I saw Henry Cavill, I was like, man of taste. So I bought it. But you might not recognize the cover because, can you see here? It says part 2 because the book was split in 2 and I bought part 2 and not part 1. So who's the dumbest of them all? It is me, Alice. So I've loved Brandon Sanderson previous fantasy books and hated everything sci-fi that he ever written. But is this fantasy? This is actually, I believe, high fantasy. Don't quote me on that. But I have so great expectations for this because the Mistborn trilogy was one of my favorites and they said that this is even greater and it has some very compelling characters, so it's like, I expect great things from Brandon Sanderson's fantasies. Shall we continue with the fantasy kick? This is The Weizmann Sphere by Patrick Rothfuss, and yes, look at the sheer size of it. This book, the Italian edition, is 1,200 pages long. Oof! This is a behemoth. But I also read last month A Little Life. Let's just all take a moment. And that book was also over 1,000 pages long, so I'm not that intimidated. I really like long books. The thing is, this is book 2 in his trilogy. Book 3, we have been waiting for 10 years. 10 plus. And we still don't have a release date, and I don't want to finish this book and be like, I really want to know what's next, and wait another 20 years. So I know I will love this. I know I will give it 5 stars, probably. I don't know. Patrick Rothfuss, don't let me down. But until I see book 3, I'm not going to read it. That's the problem. 2021, maybe. Okay, maybe I lied when I said The Way of Kings Part 2 was my dumbest purchase, because I have another very, very dumb purchase that I've done. But I'm actually very happy about it. This is Ilvikino in Technicolor, or Technicolor Time Machine by Harrison? What a mouthful. So, if you know a little bit of Italian, the title translates to The Viking in Technicolor. Look at the cover. I bought it just because of the cover and the title, but then I read the synopsis, and this talks about a young movie director that is going nowhere with his movies, and so he hires a mad scientist to go back in time to film some real actual footage of the past. Is this story not like genius? And also it's very short, so after The Weizmann Sphere, a very short book. I expect so many great things about this book because I've read the first chapter and it was excellent. It was so super funny and I love funny books. If you make me laugh, 5 stars are very welcomed. Let's dive back into reality with a little bit more of a literary fiction pile, and I have a classic here with me that I'm sure you'll be shocked to know that I have never read. This is The Great Gatsby by Francis Scott Fitzgerald. I haven't read this, even though it sounds like it would be like everything that I would love. Ambitious, pretentious young man and a super intriguing love affair and money and everything else. I haven't watched the movie with Leonardo DiCaprio. I haven't watched it. It's so bizarre that I haven't read this book, but then I have this ugly edition that came with a publishing like gossip magazine called Oggi. So I don't know why it's in my house, but I'm very glad that it is, because I'm sure I love it. It has everything I love. Again, for a more popular book, and I've seen so many people like rave and just love this book to death. This is Normal People by Sally Rooney, or Persone Normali in Italian, so the same. This has the TV show, like Fascetta. Haha! If you've seen my A Little Life reading blog, these are the fascette, so you can like slip them back on if you want to. These are just pieces of paper, but this is the cover. It's actually really pretty. This book, the synopsis tells you nothing aside from there are a young man and a young woman that constantly like have like points of contact in their life with each other but never get together, even though apparently they kind of have this very deep feeling about each other. So it tells you nothing. Like, this is barely a synopsis, but every reviewer that I really trust and have similar taste with me loved it, like, to death. I'm going to link the video in which one of my favorite YouTubers read all the books that are mentioned in Normal People. I'm going to link it up here because I think it's brilliant. This is just going to be a list of me saying this is everything I would love, ha ha ha, 1 star, I don't know. No, for a book that has been sitting on my shelf for quite some time, because I bought the English version. This is The House at the End of Hope Street by Mena van Praag, because when I first bought it, I was very young and my level of English was not on par with this book, so I didn't really understand it. I have like a bookmark on page 89, but I didn't understand much of the description, etc, etc, etc. So I want to like try again, because I remember having this whimsical feeling about this book that I'm going to love it. This talks about a young PhD student that has like kind of a midlife crisis, a quarter of life crisis, and goes to live in this house at the end of Hope Street, where Virginia Woolf, Dorothy Parker, and Agatha Christie stay there, and she has 99 days to turn her life around before she gets kicked out. I think there is a little bit of like magical elements in the story, I'm not sure, but if what I remember is as whimsical and beautiful as my memory says it is, I think I'm going to love this, like, to death. So we've come to the last book of my list, and it's a very, very special book. I'm going to tell you why. This is Un amore senza fine by Scott Spencer, or An Endless Love. And I picked this up during the pandemic when people were doing like a book, I don't know what to call them. They were giving out like secondhand book outside of house on the windows wheels. It was very, very cute, and I picked this book up not knowing what it was, but it was Celerio, the same publishing house as A Little Life. And it gave me kind of the same feeling when I read the synopsis, but a little less like traumatic. The story talks about a young man that is really infatuated with his friend, but then they get separated by this friend's family because their love is seen as immoral and wrong. The protagonist gets very, very obsessed with his friend's family and his sister, so it's kind of a all-around family drama. Can I describe it as that? I don't know, this sounds so compelling. The first chapter was written beautifully. Even though it has like a low rating on Goodreads, I don't trust Goodreads. I don't trust Goodreads like reviewers that much, because I have some of my favorite books have very low ratings. So maybe it's me that you shouldn't trust. But yeah, Endless Love. This sounds amazing. Okay, we've arrived at the end. These are all the books that contain my hopes and dreams for the next, I don't know, 5 years. It will be very interesting when I revisit this video if I gave all of these books 5 stars, or if there's like a 1 or 2 stars in here. It will be very interesting. And this is why I made this video, because it sounds so much fun to revisit your old videos. So, my socials in the description. Very important links will be in the description. Lots of things in the descriptions. So yeah, end of the video. I don't really have an intro nor an outro, but I think I will see you in my next video. Goodbye!